Piccolo finally found a way to get control of Goku. But will lightning strike twice? Or is that going to be the only time he escapes? We'll see that and more in this third part of What If Goku Was Piccolo's Vessel. The fight between Goku and Vegeta begins. Vegeta is definitely stronger, but Goku's base is actually relatively close. Goku's power is about 13,000 right now. Piccolo's hoping that Goku tries to use Kaioken because if he does, that'll give him an opportunity to take over. But from what he could tell, Goku won't need that here, at least not to a huge level. Sure, he'll need ×2 here, but that's not going to stress his body enough, unless he uses it for a really long period of time. Vegeta's also thinking the same thing. He wants to see that other side of Kakarot. Without even realizing it, Piccolo and Vegeta have the same goal here. Goku and Vegeta continue clashing. In order to actually hurt Vegeta, he has to turn on a Kaioken ×2. He could go to ×3, but that's pushing it. He doesn't want to take that risk here and let Piccolo get out. But if he goes into that, that'll make the fight way easier. At ×2, he does surpass Vegeta's power. But that's not going to be enough to outright stop Vegeta. Not to mention, he's a little bit concerned about Kaioken ×2, even at that small level. Over the past year of training, he's learned a lot more about himself, and the same applies to Piccolo. When Goku's body is stressed, Piccolo has an opportunity to escape. When Piccolo escapes, he has some sort of a cooldown, it looks like. They've only seen Piccolo escape once, so they don't know how long that lasts. But what they do know is after Goku suppresses him, Piccolo then completely loses control. After the fight with Raditz, when Goku regained control, Piccolo's control on Goku's body became way duller, and had to slowly return over time. The only reason Goku even knows this is because he and Piccolo kind of share some thoughts. This is thanks to a lot of King Kai's training. For Goku, it wasn't just physical strength. He became more in tune with his body and mind, which lets him experience more of what Piccolo experiences, although that's not really much. And because there's not really much else to look into, he got this info from Piccolo. So that's why Kaioken's a risk. It taxes his body a lot, and if he goes at too high of a level, the stress will dull his consciousness as well as injuring him, which will let Piccolo jump in. Vegeta has no idea where this fight's going, so he wants to try and anger Kakarot. Maybe that'll unleash that other side of him. Then a mouth spawns on Goku's face, taunting Goku and talking directly to Vegeta. This kind of freaks Vegeta out at first, but then he sees that's the other side of Kakarot somehow talking to him. Piccolo tells Vegeta to please kill Goku, and once Goku's dead, they can finally battle. It'll be a great fight. They can go all out. Goku tries to shut him up, but Piccolo keeps talking, telling him ways to exploit Goku's defenses and such. But then he has a great idea. He tells Vegeta, go for the boy. That should really upset Goku. And who knows, maybe it will help him escape. At first, Vegeta doesn't realize what he's talking about, but then he remembers. Goku's son. He's here on the battlefield. That might be the key to cracking him. Vegeta then launches over to Gohan, with Goku trying to chase him, even powering up into Kaioken. Vegeta almost gets to Gohan in time, but then an arm grabs Gohan. And it's not someone else's arm, it's Goku's arm. Another extended arm then comes to punch Vegeta, with Goku retracting his arm, pulling Gohan to safety. The two look equally confused. He didn't know he could do that. Instinctively to save Gohan, he was able to use Piccolo's power to stretch his arms. That's the first time he's done something like that. A Kikoho then comes in from above, hitting Vegeta and stunning him. Goku looks up to see Tien there and he apologizes for jumping in, but Goku says it's fine. He lost focus there for a bit anyways. While he was briefly confused by his extending arms, Vegeta was about to attack him. You know what? Maybe they should get Gohan out of here. For the time being, he protects Gohan and calls Nimbus, allowing him to leave, while the others try to hold Vegeta back briefly. Tien and Krillin activate Kaioken. They also have it, but it's a little bit more stressful for them, although they only use it at ×2 for them. Yamcha and Chaozu of course try to help however they can. Vegeta could actually fend all of them off at once, even with Tien and Krillin having Kaioken. Obviously they're not trying to defeat him because they know they can't. That's Goku's job. But there is one thing that they could try out. It's a plan they had in mind before. They could only use it once, and if it fails, it screws up everything. Because Vegeta might get desperate right after it, assuming he has a way to use his tail willingly. Because that's what their plan involves, cutting Vegeta's tail off. They know it's at least a weak point for other Saiyans, and at worst, cutting off his tail prevents him from transforming, if he even has a way to do so. It's pretty low risk, high reward, so they decide to try it. Chaozu focuses all of his power with telekinesis. Thankfully, Vegeta's tail is loose right now, not wrapped around him, and he uses it to hold the tail out. With Vegeta confused as to what's happening, his tail's standing up. This just makes it an easy target for Krillin. Tien and Yamcha direct Vegeta's attention towards them, as Krillin quickly activates Kaioken to move across the field, then creates a Kienzan. At the last moment, Tien and Yamcha grab onto Vegeta, holding him still while his tail is held out, letting the Kienzan hit it and cut it off. To their surprise, Vegeta's a little unfazed by it. It's a bit painful, but it's not like Raditz where it completely stunned him. He didn't know they'd go for that. That was a smart strategy, but it only served to piss him off. His anger empowers him and he's ready to kill them. But then he receives an attack by Goku, who thanks everyone for buying him some time. Nimbus arrived and is now taking Gohan back home. At least he got some experience with the Cybermen, but at this point in the battle, too risky to have him here. And strangely enough, he feels a little bit better. It's not like he had grave injuries beforehand, but he notices that some of the injuries he got from Vegeta are healed. He could have sworn he had a broken rib or two, but now it's fine. This happened right after he extended his arm. It's strange, it seems like the extended arm ability, it's tied to his regeneration somehow. It took a bit of stamina to heal himself though, but he did that instinctively. So it wore him out a bit, but it's better than fighting with broken ribs. He starts fighting Vegeta alone once more, with Piccolo watching the whole thing, cursing it all. Goku's playing this really smart. First of all, he got rid of Gohan so he wouldn't be a risk. Without him on the battlefield, they can't exploit Goku's anger. Unless Vegeta tries to kill one of his friends or something. But on top of that, Goku's learning to use his abilities. It seems he doesn't have full control over it, but he's starting to use it. That's definitely not a good sign. Especially because if Goku fully uses his powers, Piccolo will have less leverage, and it makes it harder to kill Goku on top of that. Like back in the fight with Raditz, the only reason that happened is because he had leverage. He was able to heal Goku. But if Goku can do that himself, there'll never be that situation again. He needs to think outside the box. He needs to find something else he could do here. But then he tries something that he hasn't tried in a fight before. At least not while part of Goku. Goku's too distracted right now to notice Piccolo's thoughts. Which means maybe he can communicate telepathically. Specifically with Vegeta. So he starts talking to Vegeta directly in his mind, but tells Vegeta to act normal. He introduces himself. He's King Piccolo. He's trapped within Goku. It's a bit of a long story, but he has an offer for Vegeta. If Vegeta helps get him out of here, Piccolo can give him power next. That same regeneration Goku has, Vegeta could utilize it himself. He's trying to encourage Vegeta in this fight, and telling him he can make him stronger than Goku. But Vegeta instantly declines. He's not a fool. Clearly Kakarot can't control Piccolo. And there's definitely something in it for him. There has to be a catch alongside it. Sure, that power might be tempting, but he hasn't lost yet. He has no reason to agree to those terms. Plus, he'd have to win in the first place to even do that. Although, the thought does stick in his mind. Piccolo's trying to side with him for some reason. Really, this is kind of a long game for Piccolo. He has no clue if he'll ever get out. But of course, just like Gohan, he's always wondered if he could transfer himself to someone else. And Vegeta's powerful. He's clearly a great warrior. What if he were to transfer himself to Vegeta? Purely hypothetical. He doesn't even know if it's possible yet. Not that he needs Vegeta's permission. He's just telling Vegeta all of this so he's more inclined to help. The two have much to think about. The battle finally concludes. Goku's the victor. It was definitely not an easy battle for Goku. He's pretty worn out. But without Vegeta being able to transform, and Goku sparingly using Kaioken, he was able to win. And Vegeta can't believe what just happened. He was beaten by a low-class warrior. He also has to remember, Kakarot's no regular Saiyan anymore. This isn't a huge blow to his pride because he really fought two people together. And it makes him wonder, is Kakarot really just a weakling? Is he only this strong because of Piccolo? Probably. I mean, he's a low-class warrior. That's gotta be the case, right? That's more of a reason to try and separate Piccolo from Goku. He wants to fight Kakarot just as himself, to see if he could win like that. That way he'll truly know if he was bested by a low-class warrior, or if it was just because of Piccolo. At first, he and Nappa thought Kakarot was some sort of Super Saiyan, but now that he actually knows what's going on with Goku, that's not the case. And Vegeta simply asks Goku, "What are you?" And Goku explains further. It was kind of a rhetorical question though, because Vegeta already knows. He didn't need the long-winded answer, but it's probably better he pretends. Krillin wonders if this was a good idea to tell Vegeta, but what's Vegeta gonna do anyways? No one's been able to separate Piccolo from him so far, so Vegeta hears the story behind what happened. There's a demon living inside of him. Piccolo never specified that part, he just knew that someone was living inside of Kakarot. And it's weird, he has those types of powers. A magical being with regeneration and extending limbs. He's curious, what did this King Piccolo guy look like? Goku explains that he was a green alien with pointy ears and 2 antennae. Also weird muscle things on his arms. Wait a second, that sounds like a Namekian, not a demon. The rest of them are confused. Obviously they have no clue of what a Namekian is. But you know what, that makes sense. Goku's apparently an alien, so maybe Piccolo is too. Which would mean Kami is as well. Piccolo's pretty amazed to hear this too. Interesting. That's some pretty valuable info. But what do they do with Vegeta now? Well, Krillin and Tien think they should just kill Vegeta. Goku's against it, and because Goku's against it, Piccolo tries to act against him. With all his might, he tries to take control of Goku. He's infuriated right now. This was his only chance to escape again. And now it's been thwarted. And somehow, through sheer willpower alone, he takes control for a brief second, commandeering Goku's arm, extending it out and grabbing Vegeta by the neck, lifting him up in the air. Goku has no clue of what's happening. Piccolo's never done this before, and Goku asks for someone to stop it. Looking to Krillin, he doesn't want to kill Vegeta. The hand gets tighter around Vegeta's neck, with claws digging into it too. Krillin makes a split-second decision, apologizing to Goku, but he asked for it. With the ki Enzan, he cuts Goku's arm off, and then immediately gives Goku his Senzu Bean. And Goku thanks him, but he wants to try something first. He doesn't know how Piccolo took control, but it seems their bodies are becoming more like one. It makes sense, he's able to use more of Piccolo's abilities, and Piccolo's able to take control of Goku somehow. But just to practice, this one time, he focuses all his energy into his arm, or what's left of it. And with all his focus, he's able to grow it back. He regenerates it. That confirms his theory, and it's also a little bit scary. Sure, it's great that he can control Piccolo's powers on his own, to some extent at least. But maybe Piccolo will find a way to escape again. He takes the Senzu anyways because that took a lot of stamina out of him. He just wanted to test if he could regenerate. It's a good thing to know, and now that he's back at full health from the Senzu, his senses aren't dulled at all, which means Piccolo can't take control. Obviously Vegeta's just left speechless. He can't believe what he just saw. Although, he wants to try a new approach. It's like Raditz said, Kakarot is a regenerating Saiyan. And he asked Kakarot, after he regenerated, did he feel any stronger? And Goku says he felt his power rise a bit, not a huge amount, and this was before he took the Senzu Bean. And Vegeta tells him that's his body adapting, it's just like he thought. Kakarot can regenerate, and get boost in power from it too. It's a bit counterintuitive since it takes his stamina. And of course it only applies to damage inflicted on him. When his arm was cut off, that was from Krillin, so that's why it worked. But Vegeta says he wants to help out. They can exploit that and Kakarot can grow far stronger than he could ever imagine. But Goku doesn't really care about that. He doesn't want to cheat his way to the top. It is good to know at least. But Vegeta then makes an offer. If Kakarot can use that power to defeat Frieza, Vegeta will lead them to Namek. If they go to Namek, maybe they'll find a way to separate Piccolo from Goku. But then King Kai intervenes. No need. He could help them find Namek. There goes Vegeta's bargaining chip. Goku says it's fine anyways. Vegeta's an interesting opponent and they're not going to kill him. He thinks that's why Vegeta's bargaining, but there's another reason for the sudden change in mind. Tien and Krillin wonder if they should keep Vegeta alive. They thought he'd run, but he seems serious, like he actually wants to help here. Is he scared of Piccolo for some reason? Does he want to settle a grudge solely with Goku without Piccolo's influence? And that's partially the reason. First of all, he wants to fight Goku as Goku. Second of all, yes, he's sort of terrified of Piccolo. A Saiyan with Namekian powers, or the inverse. That can be terrifying. But the main reason he wants to help out here is because he wants to unleash Piccolo. Sure, fighting Kakarot as Kakarot will be fun, but what if he were to actually unleash Piccolo? Piccolo's speaking to Vegeta mentally again. He was actually trying to bargain with Vegeta. Vegeta's a prince, and Piccolo wants to take over that empire, whatever it is. And imagine what they could do if they worked together. But Vegeta told Piccolo that there is no empire left. They work under Frieza. Well, even better. That means Vegeta doesn't have to give up anything. Piccolo will help defeat whoever this Frieza guy is, and then take over his empire. That's all he asks in return. Unless Vegeta can unleash him somehow, which would be even better. He just wants to be himself again. And once the two started talking about this, they started bargaining further. Besides Vegeta's morbid curiosity and slight fear, he mainly wants to help unleash Piccolo because it could help kill Frieza. So Vegeta brings up the idea of Namek again. Okay, if they could find their way to Namek, maybe they should do that. He makes a huge assumption and says they should be able to help. He doesn't realize they're talking with King Kai, but King Kai says that's actually a great idea. He doesn't know for sure. But Namekians are known for their weird magic abilities, plus the fact that Piccolo's a Namekian. Maybe they've seen something like this before. Maybe they could help out. And Vegeta's glad this is working. They're buying into it. Vegeta has no clue of what else to do right now. But maybe this could work in his favor. Although there's one thing he doesn't realize. Nearby is Nappa's scouter. It fell off in his fight with Goku, and it's listening into everything. Frieza hears all of this too. Vegeta's going to Namek? Why's that? You know what? Probably not too big of a concern right now. Frieza doesn't hear for the Dragon Balls at all. But maybe he'll have to make an appearance on Namek, just to stop Vegeta. It looks like he's planning something against Frieza's interests. And with that, we'll end off here for now. What do you guys think about this part? What's going to happen next? Leave your thoughts and ideas in the comments below. I'd love to see what you think. As usual, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps out the channel and shows me you want to see more like this. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.